What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. We're going to talk about a few different horror topics in this video here today. We'll be talking about Terrifier 4, Alien Romulus 2, Scream 7, Insidious 6, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Scary Movie 6. Now, starting off here with Terrifier 4, the last 25 to 30 minutes or so of Terrifier 4 are going to be very experimental for Damien Leone, according to his own words shared during a recent interview with We Are Critics. He's also reassured us that the film is being written as a finale, but won't say that this is the last we'll see of Art the Clown. Now, the first half of what he shared, my mind immediately goes to Art and Sienna battling across several hell dimensions. But what do you guys think is going to make those last 25 to 35 minutes so experimental? Because that's the only thing I can think of. We've been teased in these last two movies, especially that third one with how it ended. And the fact that Sienna, I believe, has to go save her cousin, I would imagine, in Terrifier 4. So I can see that experimental aspect being those two, Art and Sienna, just battling all over hell. And it's going to have some amazing set pieces, some very brutal shots, of course, featured all throughout the sequences. And it'll be one of the most, like, just flabbergasted moments we've had while watching this franchise. But his refusal to rule out seeing Art again only backs up what I suggest with all of these creators. They aren't the ones who decide when it's actually over. The rights holders do. And if Leone is done, that's one thing. But if the studio wants to keep using Art, he cannot stop them. Because that's probably why he's not going out of his way to say, yeah, this is the last time you're going to see Art the Clown, because it's not up to him. He could say that, and then next year they say, oh, we're doing Terrifier 5 and we have a new writer and a new director because Leone didn't want to keep doing it. Let's now talk about Alien Romulus 2, or just talk about the Alien Romulus sequel. So Fede Alvarez explained he was never going to direct the Romulus sequel. He made these comments at Horror Hound. Shout out to Epic Film, guys. I believe they are the ones who got the first report of this. Bloody Disgusting made an article about it. He said, I don't think I was ever going to direct Romulus. We always knew right when we finished, this is one of those things where you come in and you do one and get out. Cameron, Fincher, all those directors I love, they went and did one. Obviously, Ridley created it. He has the right to make a bunch of them. We did want to write it. Honestly, it's because we love the characters we created, so we want to make sure no one kills them right at the beginning of the next one. They went and killed Hicks and Newt, biggest mistake of the franchise, just like that. Hey, let's not let that happen. We wrote it and made sure they stayed alive, and now we can let someone else make it. I loved how he explained the writing aspect and brought up Hicks and Newt. That was one of the worst writing decisions in the Alien franchise. Yes, Sigourney Weaver acted her ass off in Alien 3, but to undo Aliens just felt so weird. I can't wait to see who they bring on board to direct the next Alien film. Who do you guys want it to be? I already know some of you are predicting it should be, or not predicting, but hoping it's somehow going to be Ryan Coogler. That's a very bold prediction. I don't think it's going to be Ryan Coogler, but I wouldn't be against it. I don't know. I'm kind of drawing a blank on who I would even want to replace Fede Alvarez right now. Maybe Jordan Peele. I don't know. There's so many different options that are out there. You can choose anyone. Now, let's talk about Scream 7. Scream 7 continues to get praise from its stars. Matthew Lillard was at Silver Scream Con and said the film is fantastic. He's excited to be back, and it will not ruin the franchise. He gushed over how he's been waiting so long for this call, the call he got from Kevin Williamson. Now, his tone of voice while delivering those words did make me excited, and I didn't know I could be even this interested in a Stu angle the way that I am now, but they got something cooking here. That's all I will say. I also want to stress that Stu is more of a supporting role in this story, and Roman, Dewey, and the surprise person, they are the ones that are glorified cameos. And I'm not saying he's a Vision or anything like that, because obviously at this point, if you've been online, you should know that Stu Macher's not going to be a Vision. But think Skeet in Scream 5. Skeet Ulrich in Scream 5 is not a cameo at the end of the day. Heather Monterazzo is, because we didn't see Martha very much, but Skeet's Billy's return was more of a supporting role. He appeared several times throughout the movie. So Stu is just going to be finally getting his flowers the way Billy has constantly been getting his flowers all throughout the franchise, and especially with these last two movies. But that does not mean that, again, they are pulling the trigger in a way that many of you might want them to do. Fingers crossed that everything that goes on with Scream 7 is satisfying to everyone. So let's talk about Insidious 6. Deadline has reported the rest of the cast, and shout out to you, Ass, for sending it my way. Blumhouse and Sony's Insidious 6 has set the remaining cast with Macy Richardson, Sellers, Sam Spruill, and Island Austin in the Scream Gems and Stage 6 films franchise. Now, from a brief look, I bet Sam is playing this character named Nick that I brought up, or he's going to be playing the creepy neighbor named Lester, who's supposed to be one of the 3 characters terrorizing this single mom. Island is likely the daughter to Amelia Eve, who we know was confirmed, along with Lynn Shay last week. But Amelia Eve, we know, is supposed to be playing a single mom, or at least that's rumored, not confirmed. I have no idea who Macy could be playing, but perhaps she teams with Elise. But filming is supposed to be taking place in Melbourne, Australia. It might already be shooting as I speak, but best of luck to everyone involved. What are your hopes for Insidious 6? I don't have too many right now, just because I thought that Insidious was going to be taking a very long break after 5, and then they just came right back with this one. I was actually looking more forward to the spinoff, Threads and Insidious Tale, which has been on ice ever since it got announced, it seems, or at least ever since the writers and actors strike. But let's talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So James and Juliet from Buffy the Vampire Slayer appeared at an event recently, and James made it clear that he and Juliet don't know if they will return yet because it's not time for that, nor have they been contacted about it. He's just reminding everyone that this show isn't about Buffy anymore, it's about a new Slayer. They need to flesh out and establish this cast before bringing OGs back, and he's right, it's not time for Spike and Drusilla to take up all the screen time. The only way it is time is if they had some big reason for a character like Spike to be around the new Slayer this early on, which in one of the books from Disney, from Kendara Blake, they have Spike around relatively early for a good reason. Spike and Drusilla are 2 of the most iconic characters from the show, and I'm sure if the show finds its footing and gets multiple seasons, we at least will see Spike again. It's just not necessary for this new show to do that at all. People are going to be severely disappointed in this show, and I can tell for this reason alone. So many don't even know that it's about a new Slayer, despite it being all over the internet. So many people are still just so not in tune with how Hollywood will title projects, using old things to draw in an audience, and said audience just does not educate themselves on what's actually going into the project, which is how Hollywood gets away with titling things Buffy the Vampire Slayer New Sunnydale. They know you're not going to look it up. You're just going to expect Sarah Michelle Gellar to lead, and she's not doing that. It's all over the internet. It's accessible information, but they know that the wider general public doesn't look into it the way you and I do, listening to videos like this. And they're going to sit down and watch it, and I think that's going to breed a lot of disappointment, which could lead to a drop in viewership throughout the rest of the season if the show gets picked up. It just speaks to how people will see headlines and they won't actually read articles. But James is 100% right. It's not time for anything like that. I get that we want to see the OG stars back, but you do not do that when you're telling me you're about to tell a new story about a new Slayer. You need to flesh out a unit around that Slayer. Don't just make it about Buffy's unit. This is supposed to be the new Slayer story, so give her her own unit and then mingle with Buffy's unit. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about here is going to be Scary Movie 6. So Lachlan Monroe is coming back for the film. He revealed this during an interview with Fab TV. They really are just seemingly going the legacy sequel route, which is what many of us guessed and pretty much knew by all the details that were coming out. So he's finally going to be getting the Brenda treatment, I could say, since Brenda, we know, died and came back so many times in the past. I'm assuming he's still playing Greg, but you never know. He could be playing a twin of Greg's, something I'd tolerate in a film as unserious as a Scary Movie. It's Scary Movie 6. I can live with the twin we never met twist here. Say he was away and in and out of juvie or something like that. I don't know if Lachlan was supposed to mention this since it's gone noticed at this point, but those of you who follow me on Twitter saw me share the interview moment, and yeah, I'm a happy camper with this. Hopefully they can somehow get Shannon Elizabeth back and some other familiar faces. Still waiting to hear Sean's return. But let me know what you guys think about all this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications, your name is video. In the description, I have links to all my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there, of course. Let me know if there are any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.